Okay, we're holding here in the Gemara Mesechta Megillah Daf Chavches Amud Beis 28b. We just saw a story of Rabbi Akiva with Rabbi Nechunya ben Hakana. Rabbi Akiva asked Rabbi Nechunya ben Hakana, "Why do you live such a long life?" And Rabbi Nechunya ben Hakana's servants quickly went and they tried to. First, they beat him up, they chased him away, and Rebbe Kiva had to climb up a tall palm tree and hide from them. And Rebbe Kiva asked a question in learning. A question, it says, why does it say keves echad? When you bring the daily the carbon tamid in the Beis HaMikdash, why does it say keves echad? Twice. And keves is singular, one sheep. Echad is one. Why does it say it twice? And he answered, it means the most special sheep of all of them. That's why it says echad. But Rabbi Nechunya ben Hakana said, I see he's a Torah scholar. He's not coming to ask me questions just lekanter, just in order to make me feel upset. Feel upset. So there's interesting Gemara, Mesechta Yevamas. Bring it up here on the screen. The Gemara has a dispute between Rebbe Akiva and the Amoraim and the Chachamim and the sages about what does it mean as mispar yamecha amalei. Hashem gives a brachas to the Jewish people in Parshas Mishpatim, if you'll keep the Torah, there will not be any woman who will miscarry or be barren. Es mispar yamecha amalei. I will fill up the number of your days. So what does that mean? There's a disagreement between Rabbi Akiva and the Chachamim. It says, Mispar Yamecha Amalei, further on the page. Tanoi, it's an argument between Amoraim. Tanya, Mispar Yamecha Amalei, I will fill up the number of your days. Elu Shnei Dairis. These are two generations, meaning that every person lives the lifespan of two generations, means up to 70 years. Says a person is given a certain amount of time to live. If they're meritorious, then they fill their days. If they're not meritorious, if they sin, then they're going to lose some of that time. That's what Rebbe Kiva says. And the sages say, no, everybody gets the days they're supposed to get. But if you have merit, Hashem will add on more days than the days that you already are allotted. I mean, Hashem will extend your life longer. And if you're not deserving, Hashem will remove the amount of the days. That's the Chachamim say that Rabbi Kiva says a person, if they are merited, will only live to the amount of time they're supposed to live. You can see it here on the screen. The Chachamim say that if a person is merited, they will add on more years than the amount of time they're supposed to live. If they're not merited, then they lose time. Yeah, that's what the Chachamim say. Comes out according to this. This was the deeper meaning of the conversation between Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Nechunya ben Hakana. Rabbi Akiva, he holds that if one has a great merit, a great zchus, you only live the amount of time you're supposed to live. So he's asking Rabbi Nechunya ben Hakana, how did the master live so long? He's asking that according to what I understand, the person should only, if you're meritorious, you live only the amount of years of a regular lifespan. How come you are living extra long, even longer than you're supposed to live? Because according to Rabbi Akiva, you're not supposed to live longer, right? If you're zacha, if you're meritorious, you just fill, you don't lose any time. The servants of Rabbi Nechunya ben Hakana got very upset at him because you don't ask about blessings, about brachas openly in public. You don't go over to somebody and who just made a who makes a lot of money, who says, walk over to him in front of the whole crowd and start getting conversations to tell me how much money you made this, how much, tell me this bracha, that bracha. Bracha rests a davar samui mina ayin, it says in Bab Metzia, and something which is hidden, something which is not public, a bracha rest. And they fear that if Nechunya ben Akana is going to talk publicly about the reason why he lives long, then the bracha will now no longer be hidden. Now everyone's going to know about it. And then the bracha will stop. So therefore, they did not want Rabbi Nechunya ben Akana to talk about this in public. Page 28b, 2. Yeah. Let me see if we're there. 28b2, b1. Yeah, 28b1. All right. All right, 28a3. I'm not used to the English so much. Okay. So Rebbe Kiva answered back by hinting to the lamb of the carbon tamid. He says, Keves echad. Keves echad is the carbon tamid, the daily sacrifice, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. He says, if somebody is consistent, if somebody does what they have to do, day in, day out, so then you don't have to worry about things being samoy mina ayin, things being hidden from the eye. Rebbe Kiva, and he says, if your person will be zacha, meritorious, what does it mean meritorious? Rebbe Kiva is saying, as long as you do your avodah, you do what you're supposed to do every single day, and you're consistent, then you're going to live your allotted lifespan. So Rebbe Kiva is now telling Rebbe Chunya ben Akana, I know why you lived your allotted lifespan, why your regular years you're supposed to live, because you were consistent with everything you did. My question is, what bracha, what merit did you have? Did you live more than your allotted lifespan? If according to Rebbe Kiva, that's not part of a regular bracha. It must be beyond zacha, beyond being meritorious. It has to be also, in addition to that, there has to be also a schus, an extra merit, an extra thing that he did. So then Rebbe Nechunya ben Akana answered him with several answers. And let's look at the Gemara inside of what Rebbe Nechunya ben Akana answered. And based on that, we will explain what Rebbe Nechunya ben Akana's answer to Rabbi Akiva was. So let's bring it up here. So the three things that he answered is Lo kibalti matanos. 28a2 in the first column. So this is the answer of Nechunya ben Akana to Rabbi Akiva. Why did I live a long life? These are three things that he lived. Three things that he did. First thing is, Amar loy miyamai loy kibalti matanos. I never received a gift from anybody my entire life. Second thing was, v'lo yamadati al midosai. I was never very rigid about myself. I was very flexible. And if somebody insulted me, I always forgave them. I never insisted on getting them back, even if somebody may be tremendous distress. Uvatran b'mamayni hayisi. And I always was open-handed, gave away a lot of money. I never was stingy when it came to giving away money. So these are the three things that I did. And in this chus, in this merit, he lived to be a long life. Now, remember, according to Rebbe Kiva, which Rebbe Kiva says, that if a person is zoches, meritorious, they'll live out their regular amount of days. So these three things, which Rebbe Nechunya ben Akana did, is he never accepted a present. Never accepting a present means I'm satisfied with what Hashem gave me. What Hashem gave me is enough. I don't need more than what Hashem gives me. And therefore, Rebbe Nechunya ben Akana, in turn, merited to live his full life, meaning he never wanted more than, he never looked to get what didn't belong to him. So Hashem says, whatever belongs to you, you will keep. Meaning your days that you're supposed to live, you will live. I never got upset at anybody. Again, that's idea of being satisfied with what you have. The other person insulted me, maybe I deserved it. He never got upset at anybody else. Who says I'm better than him? Third thing is, I always gave away a lot of money, whether it was tzedakah, whether it was, we learned before that when he would go by, he would always overpay a little bit. They shouldn't, God forbid, cheat the seller. So he would always overpay by a penny or two. And therefore, he also, in turn, by Hashem, was given a special gift to matana. You always gave extra to others. Hashem says, I will give extra to you. He gave more than what they deserve to others. I will give more to you. And therefore, his life was lengthened. As the Gemara says, Gemara will now go through all three of these things. What does it mean? An example of not accepting a gift from someone else, not getting upset at someone else, and to be generous with your money. Says the Gemara, Loiki balti matanos, I never accepted a gift from anybody else. Yossi, shalom aleichem, thank you for joining.
Shalom aleichem.
Yeah, Yossi, that you come and you join us, it makes it very, very special.
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
You could be outside now playing soccer, and you come here and you join the Shir Torah.
The most important thing.
Yeah. We could all learn from you and look up to you.
I learned from you. You're the master.
Yeah.
You're my rabbi. Thank you.
Thank you. It says, Loki balti matanos. It says, I never accepted a gift from anybody. Ki had the Rabbi Eliezer, similar to Rabbi Elazar. Ki have a meshadr le matanos in Beinesiah. There was the Nasi, which was a Jewish leader at that time. Usually he was from the house of David HaMelech, a descendant of Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, who in turn descendant from David HaMelech. And he would send gifts from the house of the Nasi, of the leader. Lo have a shakil. He would not receive any gifts. And and even more than that, even if they wouldn't give him a gift, if they would invite him to join him for the for a meal, lo have azal, he would not go to accept any gifts from anybody. Amar lahu, he told the family of the Nasi, told the family of the leaders of the powerful people, Nichul lahu de echya. Do you want me to live? I want to live. Do you want me to live? Ksiv, it is written by in Mishlei by Shlomi HaMelech. Soinei matanos yichya. He who despises gifts shall live long. And if I receive a gift from you, then it will cause my life to be ruined, to be shortened. So says Rebbe Nechunya ben Akana, I never received a gift from anybody, and therefore I was able to live a long life. And the Gemara continues. Means he would politely say no, thank you. Reb Zalman Jaffe, he used to bring all the time to the Rebbe different gifts. He was a well-to-do businessman, and the Rebbe gave him brachas, and he felt that the brachas of the Rebbe, he knew the brachas of the Rebbe are giving him, and he brought the Rebbe. He felt bad. Why is the Rebbe by the Fabrengens? The Rebbe used a plain glass bottle of wine, and they would pour the Rebbe from a plain glass bottle that was covered in a paper bag because it wasn't a bushel. And he says it's not honorable. It should be a silver the pitcher, decanter. And he bought one for the Rebbe. And the Rebbe smiled, and the Rebbe says, I can't use it. Thank you very much, but I can't use it. Because if I would get a silver wine pitcher, all Chassidim will start doing it, copying the same thing, and then it's going to be too much of an expense for them. He went to, every time he would come in, he would buy 5 bottles of mashke and bring it into the Rebbe. He would buy it in duty free, and the Rebbe would ask him, "What should I do with this?" The Rebbe asked him, first of all, "Why so much?" He says, "Because that's what I could buy in duty free without paying extra tax." The Rebbe would laugh and he says, "What should I do with it?" So he says to the Rebbe, "You have a very hard job. So you have a very stressful, job that you do. At night when, everything, just when you're by yourself, take a small shot to relax." The Rebbe told him, Mrs. Schneerson wouldn't be so happy with that.
Who was this guy?
Zalman Jaffe from England. Right? So for certain people, the Rebbe will not accept gifts. Many times, and in general, the Rebbe will not accept gifts. And in a moment, we'll show you a very interesting video of this. Rebbe Zera, the Gemara just continues. The Rebbe Zera interprets this admonition against receiving gifts a little differently. If you have a mashadlim benisia lavishakal. We said before that Rebbe Lazar would not take any gifts or be invited to the Nasi's house. Rebbe Zera, if he would receive a gift, he would not take it. But if you invite him to a banquet, he would go. Omar, he says, they are honoring my presence. When they're inviting Rebbe Zera, it's not because Rebbe Zera is hungry and doesn't have food to eat that they're inviting Rebbe Zera. Rather, they want to honor Rebbe Zera, inviting him, a great individual, to a fair. So the host, the Nasi, will be honored by his presence. So Rebbe Zera felt that Nasi is not doing me a favor. On the contrary, I'm doing a favor for the Nasi. He's benefiting from me. Halakha, one who despises gifts, is brought in Shulchan Aruch, that one who despises gifts will live long. It's now accepting gifts, accepting tzedakah. The Rambam, and he brings this Gemara and other places, and he's very strict, and he says those who learn Torah, if they don't work and they only receive money from others, he calls it a chil Hashem, because you can't have any benefit from Torah. What's interesting is all the Achronim say differently than the Rambam, beginning with the Kesef Mishnah, Rabbi Yosef Cairo. Right, it was a Pirush on the Rambam. And he brings from many Maamar Chazal, many sources from the Chachamim, the sages. It says whoever supports those who learn Torah, it's as if they're bringing bikurim, first fruits, that they're bringing on Shavuos to the Beis HaMikdash. Now, if the Torah scholar is not allowed to accept gifts, so why would it be praiseworthy to support those who learn Torah? But rather, it must be it is a good thing to support those who learn Torah, and to make that those who learn Torah can learn calmly. So what does it mean? It says if a person is receiving gifts just because they're learning Torah in order to become rich, in order to become honored, so then they should not be accepting gifts. If they want to learn Torah because they want to learn the Torah of Hashem, then definitely they could. It's okay to receive funds and gifts, and people want to give. And all of the Chachamim, all the sages, from the Rishonim to the Achronim, and they all said the same exact thing. Whether for Eis Lasas Lashem Meferu Torasecha, it's time for us in order to keep the Torah. And if people will not be learning Torah because there's no support, Torah will be forgotten from the Jewish people. The only way Torah can exist is because you have Tomchei Torah, those who support Torah. Alter Rebbe Paskins and Shulchan Aruch and the Kuntres Achron, Hilchos Talmud Torah, he rules the same thing. And he says a person, if they're able to and have the capability to learn Torah day and night, they should learn Torah day and night. Especially in today's generations, Tashbetz writes that people do not have memories like they used to learn, don't remember as well, have to have so many more Sfarim. So for sure, if you have the desire to learn Torah day and night, just to learn for the sake of the Torah, not for the sake of prestige or anything else, then they should definitely do it. And Rav Moshe Feinstein was asked the question, should a kollel not accept money, gifts, tzedakah, donations, because, you want to be altruistic and not depend on others. So he says, this comes from the Shliach Rambam, from the Rambam, but this is coming, he says, from the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara is trying to get a person to stop learning and trying to find ways of doing it. And this way, he's saying, no, don't stop learning. He says, many things are different nowadays than they used to be. He calls it a Dor Yasan. He says, in the days of old, the men would learn Torah and sit and learn day and night, and the wives would work and support them. And they were willing to live a very non-wealthy, very poor lifestyle in order to sit and learn Torah. So Torah is more precious than anything else. And nowadays, we don't have, many women are not willing to withstand so much hardships. And therefore, it's not a problem for a kollel to receive donations, gifts, giving gifts to those who learn Torah. This is halavai. People should support those who learn Torah much more, because at the end of the day, this is what Hashem has in the world. It's a midas chassidus. It's, of course, if one wants to go above and beyond, to not accept gifts at all, it's fine. Rather believe in Hashem, and Hashem will give you whatever you need. And also, receiving a gift is very, many people have a nature, most people have a nature that they want more money, they want to get more and more. So if a person doesn't run after money means nothing to them, and they don't need presents, and therefore you're not scared, or you don't have to feel you have to answer to anybody else. He says somebody who feels that they always need the other person to give them, so for someone who's able to support them, they'll be nice, they'll never point out anything that they need to fix, it won't be mechiach them, or he's going to honor people who are able to give him, to support him more. So therefore, he says, the Maggid Mishnah writes that a person should really make themselves satisfied with whatever Hashem gives them. Don't try running and getting more money. Just be sameach bechalkai. It says, being jealous of others, wanting more, and trying to be honored are what makes a person, make a person pass away. It's all from the Yetzer Hara. A person who does not wants gifts from others, so such a person is a toiv ayin. He only sees the good in others. Doesn't try seeing that nobody can do anything wrong to him financially. And it's even a question in halacha if you're allowed to give a gift to someone without them knowing about it. In halacha, it's not brought down that you're not allowed to receive gifts because you're allowed to halachically. Chaim Pfeffer even adds on something over here. He doesn't say that those who don't receive gifts will live. He says, Soine, those who hate gifts will live. I mean, those who despise having gifts. Meaning, even if they receive a gift, but they really don't want it, such a person will live long. And Chaim Pfeffer himself says, about myself, you could perhaps have a suspicion that I get a salary from the community. People give me, which is called gifts. Now, the machlokes between Rebbe Elazar and Rebbe Zera over here is when the giver is having a pleasure from giving a gift, is it considered to be a gift? Here, when the Nasi would invite Rebbe Zera to the table, and he would feel honored for inviting such a great Talmid Chacham, would that considered to be a gift or not? Rebbe Elazar was known in other places that he was very, very poor. And he thought to himself that if I'm invited over to the Nasi's house, it's not going to be anything special for the Nasi, because I'm a poor man, even though I'm a Torah scholar. I'll just point out several interesting anecdotes over here. Like I said before, the Rebbe generally would not accept gifts. As a matter of fact, after Gimel Tammuz, gifts which were given or sent into the Rebbe, the vast majority of them were all returned to the sender after Gimel Tammuz. Vast majority. Mm-hmm. Yeah, many people sent presents and gifts, or it was given back to them.
You say
after Gimel Tammuz, correct.
But who would receive them have to give them?
Even the person who gave them, if they were still around.
The Rebbe was around.
What? Meaning, if it was sent and was given in the Rebbe's library, meaning the Rebbe didn't receive it personally.
Uh-huh.
But it's very interesting. There are times that the Rebbe would accept gifts. And you know what type of gift it was? It was a gift that came with a whole heart, with a came from a place of sincerity. Such a gift the Rebbe would accept. The famous thing of there was a yeshiva boy. He he didn't grow up from. He became a Baal Tshuva. He was just came to yeshiva Torah the first time, and I guess he didn't know the protocol, which was a good thing. And he decided that he wants to give a shliach manos to the Rebbe. So he didn't know what to do, how it works. So you do it, you don't do it. So he went to a store. He didn't have much money. He's in yeshiva Torah. He bought one hamantash, and he bought an orange, put it into a brown lunch bag, and he went to the Rebbe's house and dropped it off. And it was particularly this one later on that the Rebbe had on his table. There were other people who sent shalach manos, and people used to send fancy things. The Rebbe would send all that shalach manos to the Bachram. And he said, this came from a place of sincerity. As if you see here on the screen.
You see, he kept it on the table?
He kept it on the table, yes. And the Rebbe, I think, even wrote back to that Bachar. I don't remember the exact details, but we see here on the screen, this is a Rebbe on Purim. You see the different Megillahs that the Rebbe had and the different cases that the Rebbe had. There's a Megillah that the Rebbe had written by the Rebbe Marash, and it was kept in a black cardboard case. If you go to the Rebbe's library today, you could see it. It's in a showcase. There's another Megillah used by the Rebbe until the year Tafshin Chavtes, 1969. And if you see, if you look at that, all right, let's go through this. If you look at this, it's also in a here. Go down a little bit. If you look at it over here, it's also, you see the Rebbe's Megillah. The Rebbe walk in a black paper, about a black cardboard case. In the year 1969, there's a chassid in Karnitz. His name was Rebbe Getzel Rabashkin. Getzel Rabashkin from Neville. He was a very, very sincere chassid. He's a grandfather of all the Rabashkins that we know of today. And he was, you could say, more of a simple person. He wasn't, you could say, the greatest Torah scholar, but much more of a Mekusher connected to the Rebbe. And I had a tremendous love for the Rebbe, gave tremendous tzedakah and everything he did. And for himself, he wanted to buy a Megillah. And he went to the Sofer, his name is Rishaya Matlin. He's a Sofer who wrote mezuzahs in the Rebbe's house. You wrote your tefillin also? Oh, wow, let me know what you're doing with your tefillin if you ever want to get rid of them. No? Yishver gave you your tefillin. Wow, it's very special. I Rebbe Matlin tefillin.
I have it as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, certain words.
It cost $150 in 1973, and the person who took me to the sofa said, "Are you sure you want to spend that kind of money?" So,
Wow.
The dragon, you want the word to be it tilts the tag of this
To the right. Interesting. And so Rabbi Matlin, that's Rabbi Getzel Rabashkin goes over to Rabbi Matlin, wants to buy a Megillah, and he says, "Write for me the beautiful, the best Megillah you had." And Rabbi Matlin also, he would check the Rebbe's Megillah, tefillin, he would check these. And so Rabbi Matlin wrote him a Megillah. When he went to buy it, he says, "This Megillah is really, really beautiful." And he says, "Even the Rebbe doesn't have such a nice Megillah." That's what Rabbi Matlin told him. He says, "If that's the case, I'm buying this Megillah right now. Full price. Tell me a price." Paid full price, and he got a silver case, and he gave it to the Rebbe. This the Rebbe used. This the Rebbe accepted, because it came from a place of tmimus, of sincerity. Right. So later on, from that year onwards, the Rebbe started using Rabbi Matlin's Megillah. They got from Rebbe Getzel Rav Ashkin with the silver case that Rebbe Getzel Rav Ashkin gave him as well. So such a type of gift, that type of gift, the Rebbe would accept. So here is a very interesting. Again, he's to give. He's to get. So this is when a new car was brought to the Rebbe. It was Purim Katan in the year Tashriv. Purim Katan in the year 1986. I mean, the Rebbe's cars were, you could say, all generally they were older cars. The Rebbe is interesting. There's someone he lives down in Eretz Yisrael. I'm not sure if he's still living. He's from Philadelphia originally. He's a successful businessman. He became Baal Tshuva through Rebbe Vremel Shem Tov. And one of his businesses that he had was a car dealership. So he always would send to the Rebbe, if he could, a car. And once or twice, the Rebbe accepted a car from him. One time for the Rebbetzin. The Rebbe didn't have a car. And but listen, the Rebbe's car, when he say was older, etc. And so they wanted to get a new car for the Rebbe. In addition, the Rebbe had a problem with his foot. So they invested a tremendous amount of money. Chassidim did this. They would know if they would ask the Rebbe would tell them not to do it. So they went ahead and did it. And with the hope when they give it to the Rebbe will start using it. I think it's a type of car custom made that you don't have to bend down when you go in. When you open the door, part of the roof is connected to the door, so you don't have to bend down and put yourself in. You just sit down. So because the Rebbe had a problem with his foot, and so they brought this as a gift to the Rebbe, and the way they would do it is that they would just bring it to when the Rebbe was going to the oil, they would just bring the car instead of the Rebbe's old car, bring the Rebbe's new car, and the Rebbe was none too pleased. And you'll see in this video over here. I'll bring up on the screen. Hopefully they'll be able to see it. 1986. What can they hear from here? The computer is better with video. Kind of laugh. Okay, the video is not going too well. You could I'll post the link in the chat. Good. Try this again. But at any rate, when they brought the new car into the Rebbe asked, "Where's the old car?" Like the Rebbe didn't look too pleased. That's it. This is before the Rebbe gets in. Sending away the old car, they want to bring the new one in. Whoever it was very excited. Taking this video was very excited. Okay, shkoyach. It's not working. Okay. At any rate, yeah, Mr. Jim. Anyone comes up front. At any rate, Anyways, you see, when the Rebbe comes down to the car, the Rebbe turns to Rabbi Krinsky, and the Rebbe asks, "Where's my car? Where's the old car?" The Rebbe did not want to accept his gift. See, the Rebbe asks him, "Where's the old car?" The Rebbe tells him, "Bring the old one back." You heard the Rebbe just said was just the words of our Gemara. You heard that. Soinu matana sichya. I don't know if you could hear that. Go back a couple seconds. If you're able to hear that, the Rebbe said the words "Soinu matana sichya." Those who despise gifts will live long. And so the Rebbe says, "Why are you trying to give me a gift of a new car when it says "Soinu matana sichya"? And the same thing that Rebbe used the same words over here that Rebbe Lazar used. He would say, "You don't. Does it bother you if I'm alive?" Right? The Rebbe used the same exact words when he was speaking now to Rabbi Krinsky. No. Well, yeah, they didn't take it. They never waited outside 770. About a few minutes, 3 minutes. See, they sent the car away. They brought back the old car, yeah. 1986. We don't have this too often. We're ever just waiting inside 770. Rebbe said every minute by him is precious. Thank you. Everyone's waiting and waiting. Eventually, they bring back the Rebbe's old car, and that's when the Rebbe continued to use. The Rebbe used exact words of our Gemara. Does you mind if I stay alive? They brought back the old car of the Rebbe. Then the Rebbe went to the oil afterwards. Right? So that's the person whoever took this video on Access was very excited. The new car of the Rebbe, he's taking videos of it. Yes, well, modern for back then. Later on, after the Rebbetzin Chaim passed away, the Rebbe said he'd take that car and give it to one of the aides, the people who assisted Rebbetzin Chaim. For her, will be that someone who assisted her could use his car. So the Rebbe said give it as a present to somebody else. Yeah, so that's in general idea of not taking gifts. The Rebbe later on, about 2 months later, explained the rationale behind this a little. Not the why he didn't take the new car, but the Rebbe why you shouldn't take a gift. He says there's something we're familiar with a concept called eskafia. Eskafia means one has to control themselves, impulse control. Meaning someone wants to do something and you hold yourself back. You want to sleep in and you force yourself to get up. You want to eat that delicious food and you don't do it. You want to just relax on the couch and throw off and watch the news, and instead you force yourself to open the sefer and learn. It's called eskafia. You want to just relax and go ahead and do a favor for somebody else. It means forcing yourself. Eskafia is has a very prominent role in Avodas Hashem, in service of Hashem. So the Rebbe says 2 months later, the Rebbe spoke about the idea of eskafia, and then the Rebbe says, for example, people wanted to give a present of a new car, and at times, and if I 1 second, pause. There's a article Chabad.org. I just want to bring it up so we can just follow along over there. Chabad.org. Here it is. Here it is. Yeah. All right. And that's the Rebbe is waiting for the old car to return. So the Rebbe said that it wasn't a skafia. I wasn't trying to control my impulse, control what I desire by not taking a new car. Meaning I wanted a new car and I controlled myself and didn't take it. It wasn't a skafia, the Rebbe says. The Rebbe says that I'd never even have a desire for something new, and the old one is perfectly fine. The old one, he says, the old car, says, took him to the oil many times, many times, went to do mitzvahs, went to do many things. When people buy a new car, the Rebbe explained, people rationalize it. I want a new car because I'll do more mitzvahs with it. I'll be able to go faster to whatever I have to do another mitzvah with it. Will help us arrive faster. So don't use Hashem as your excuse to justify your personal desires. Not purchasing a new car says will constitute a skafia. And then the Rebbe alluded to what happened. Some people were saying they wanted to buy the Rebbe a new car because the old seats are rubbed out, because it's time for an upgrade. It should look nicer. But the Rebbe says old car, new car for me makes absolutely no difference. If the old car was the agent of Hashem to do many mitzvahs and to do many good things, it should continue to do so in the future. For example, the Rebbe gave, if somebody likes potatoes and they like red potatoes, when they bring in white potatoes and you don't eat it, you're not doing a skafia. Meaning if you're bringing something you don't like, right, it's not considered to be a skafia if you don't like it to begin with. It's only when you like something and then you control yourself and not do it. That's called a skafia. For example, if you want to give money to tzedakah and you think you should only give a certain amount and you force yourself to give a lot more, that's called a skafia. So why did the Rebbe refuse the new car? So we saw right in the beginning, the Rebbe said, "Soini matanas yichya." Right? Those who despise gifts will live long. Maybe the Rebbe felt a big deal is being made out of it, when no big deal should be made out of. Maybe the Rebbe had other reasons for it. We don't know. In general, we see that the Rebbe did not accept gifts unless it came from a place of tremendous, sincerity. And just to conclude, there's a woman, her last name is Nakar. She lives in Toronto. And after one of the sikhs of the Rebbe, where the Rebbe said how the woman donated the mirrors to the Beis HaMikdash, and the woman were the ones who will bring Mashiach. She took all of her jewelry she had at home. She put it into a box and she sent it right away to the mosquitoes, to the Rebbe. And she says, I want to give this to the Rebbe because this, the Rebbe just spoke about how the woman gave everything to the Beis HaMikdash in order for it into the Mishkan, and she wants it to be used for Mashiach to come. And the Rebbe never gave it back. The Rebbe accepted it. And the box is still there. If you go in the Rebbe's room today, you'll see it's on a shelf. It means behind the glass, because they put glass, and we should take things from the shelves there. But the box is still there. You can see it on the shelf. Meaning, for when it came from a place of tamimos, of sincerity, then you can say it was a matana. And maybe at that point, it goes away from the status of matana, of a gift, and it goes into the status of something unique, something special. Anyways, that's what I have to share today. Tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem, will be